How you'd fancy a wonderful, wacky weekend with the lads, just chilling with that Monopoly. Actually, are board games even a thing anymore? The last time I touched one was 2 years ago with this bad boy. Well, apparently, they're working out for Funko because they're back in the hood with another Five Nights at Freddy's board game called The Night of Frights, which I have for you right here today. For reals, this time I might actually be able to manage this unboxing without the use of those goddamn scissors. Clearly this box is already in deteriorated shape, so let's just go for it. There we go. Uh-oh, look at this. Teaser for tomorrow's videos, guys. Now you better not be watching this video with the lights out because apparently this is quite the frightful experience and we're going to get into it very soon. But let's just admire the box first because I love this. I love all the FNAF merch which is in that real vintage 80s pizzeria style, and this box design being no different. And look at all those goofy little minifigures by there. Oh, they look so silly. And then here's the back of it, which kind of sums up what you're getting yourself into. And just when you thought this box couldn't get any cooler, it feels like an actual pizza box, the texture of it. Oh, and it just flips open like a pizza box. Nice one, smart one, Chief. Let's see what we got here. Oh, all sorts of stickers and Devil Freddy, he's actually real. I deadass thought that on the back there was just some kid colored that in. That's generally what the card looks like. Oh my goodness. Let's take a look at these little gremlings first. And these guys pit the mini and minifigures. Look at the size of these guys. And fit all these in my hands, no problem. Squeeze them up. Alright, what else we got in this box? There's sockets here with nothing in them, which seems like there should be something. Here, though, we've got event cards. Alrighty. Up here, we got a little stand for something. And then here we've got the board, I think. Oh, instructions. Oh, what the hell is this? This looks really cool. Oh, a little spinner. Oh, okay, right, that's the icing on the cake for the box here. Look at this. Oh, scratch that. It's actually a game board, but you get my point. This is just awesome. We've got a quick rundown of your objectives, and then here's the setup. Hopefully you can see it all right. Feel free to pause and read all that stuff. And then there's the layout of your board, and then the other side here is how you actually play. Take a pause at that. Now, with everything here, I'm going to read these rules and then demonstrate how this game will be played out.
A few moments later.
Now here's what your setup will initially look like before you even start the game. Now just so you know, this setup is for a 2-player game. You can play for up to 4 players, which is why you have 4 characters. Now although this board game has the same location, characters and premise of FNAF 1, it's certainly a lot more complicated than the game. These instructions don't help much either because they really aren't so straightforward. You may remember the same thing happened with the Survive Till 6 AM board game where many players found themselves getting very confused. I've never played this before, so it is quite complicated to me at the moment, but I will try and simplify it as much as I can. Okay, now let me explain the setup first before playing. So firstly, here's the 2 characters I've chosen for a 2-player game, Freddy and Foxy, which is why I have the cards for Freddy and Foxy, as well as their tokens over on the scare counter. Over here, I have shuffled up piles of action cards and event cards, which you will learn about very soon, as well as item tokens, which you will also learn about soon. And then here in the bag is where all of the miss and the single guard token is. We'll learn all about that very soon. Okay, so as a starter, when you begin the game here, you're going to want to pick up 5 of these item tokens at total random. And then flip them around. Make sure they're flipped down before you play. So you're going to turn these all around. And you see the number at the bottom of them? You're going to put them at the corresponding room. So this one says 11 on it. You're going to place this here at room 11. Flip another one. This is number 6. You're going to have to find the room that's labeled 6. Put that one right there. And just keep going with all 5 of them. So as you can see, I've placed all 5 of the tokens in the corresponding room here, and when you have this set up, you're now ready to begin the game. So now that you've set up your 5 item tokens and you're ready to play the game, this is when these action cards are going to come into play. So each player is going to take 3 of these, so make sure they're shuffled up, don't look at them. Whoops, I actually don't even have these flipped around, so we'll take these 3 and we'll give them to Foxy. Now would also be a good time to explain this. Each character you're being of the 4 will have a little perk. So for example here, Freddy is whenever you draw action cards, you draw until you have 4. So for people playing as Freddy, instead of drawing 3 cards at the start, you're drawing a 4th one. And the last thing before the first player makes their turn is decide who makes the first turn. So you've got 5 tokens here, which are called action tokens. Now, you only take 4 of these. You pick one of these to decide, which you may be able to pick up later. Anyhow, whenever you have decided who goes first, you give these 4 action tokens to that player, which means they will be able to carry out a maximum of 4 actions. Okay, so we're going to start off as Freddy here, and remember, he has 4 of these tokens, so he can carry out 4 actions. Now, 2 more things, okay, before we get into the actual actions, the actual movements. So, firstly, all players must start in the dining area, as well as this security camera. The security camera must start in the dining area. The security camera means the only action you're able to carry out is move to other rooms. We'll explain the actions now. The first action you can carry out is move, and remember that every move you do can only be one room. You can't just jump from here to here, you can't just jump from here to here, you gotta go to one room. So for example, you can move here, you can move here, you can move here. Every time you do one move will cost 1 token, so let me demonstrate. You're here, you move into this room, boom, 1 token gone. You pass this to the other player, by the way. You move to this room, boom, another token gone. Anyhow, let's pretend that didn't happen, bring these back so I can show you what the other actions are. But we must remember, when we're in the same room as the security camera, all we can do is move. So what we got to do first is move one room. That's going to take away one of our tokens. And now we can carry out the other actions. Okay, so one action you can do is pick up all of the items that are in the room you are. So, right, you're sitting here. You're able to pick this here up and bring that over to you. This will also cost 1 token. Now, there could be 1 item in the room and it will still cost 1 token, or there could be 10 items in that room and it would still only cost 1 token, alright? Shortly, I will explain what these items tokens do. But first, here's what the other 2 activities are you can carry out. So the first one is that you can play one of your cards. So remember the 4 cards we chose at the beginning here for Freddy. So say we just pick one of these and turn it around. Jump to an odd numbered room. So, you know your odd numbers, so we can jump, say, for example, to 7 here. Now, since we drew that card, that's 1 token gone. We won't lose 2 of the action tokens, by the way, and it'll only cost 1. So, drawing the card and carrying out the action of the card, that only takes up 1 token. And the final action you can carry out, which I won't demonstrate till after because we can't do it right now, it's to attempt to capture the guard. More on that after. Anyhow, now that we've carried out enough actions, let's move on to the other player's turn. Now, regardless of how many actions you carry out, remember you can do a maximum of 4, you gotta pass all 4 of these to the other player. So say you only carried out 2 actions, you gotta pass all 4 of them over to the other players. Okay, so we're Foxy now. Remember, we can carry out a maximum of 4 actions. So let's put these here. So firstly, we're in the room of the security camera, so we can only move. So we move over this room, boom. 1 token goes over to Freddy. Let's move another room. Another token over to Freddy. We want to pick up this here item, right? That's going to cost us a token, but we get this item. And say the final action we want to carry out is to draw up one of these cards. Let's see what we got here. Oh, we get to draw an item. So, I think what this means is you can just draw any item, I believe. So, we'll just take this one. And now, all of the tokens are back over to Freddy, and he can carry out another 4 actions. Now, I would like to introduce another little thing. Just didn't want to overwhelm you too much here. So, something you want to do is every single time it's another player's turn, you want to pick up 2 of these here and just place them in the corresponding rooms like you did at the beginning. So, we've got a number 2 here. We'll place that there. And we've got a number 12. We're going to place this on the old show stage. Okay, now I'm going to do a couple of rounds here in full motion so you hopefully understand. So firstly, I'm going to go ahead and move here. That's 1 token over to Foxy for his next turn. Let's go pick up this one. That's going to cost us 1 token. Let's take that. Let's draw up one of our cards here. Let's see what we got. Jump to the camera. And it says then move camera. So we get to jump. We have to jump where the security camera is, and now we get to move the security camera to any room of our choice. So where will we not be heading? Who needs the bathroom anyway? We're robots. Now remember, once you've carried out the action, you go ahead and put this back into the action card pile and you shuffle those boys up. There's nothing we can do here in the dining room, so let's make our last action and move over to this room here. And then we pass the final token over to Foxy, and he gets his 4 turns. So it's the start of a new turn. We take 2 of these boys and put them in the places. We put this here in number 3, and this here will be a number 2. Now as Foxy with our 4 tokens here, let's try and work towards being able to carry out the other activity, which we haven't quite discussed yet, that being trying to capture the guard. So to capture the guard, you have to be in either rooms 1 or 2, which are right outside the security guard's office. And the other requirement is we gotta have the scary meter built up to some point. To build up the scary meter, what we're going to need to do is accumulate enough of these tokens so that it can match one of these rooms. So say we end up getting 2 of these cakes, right? And we go to this room. If we have 2 of those cakes, we get 1 scary meter. So say Foxy meets that requirement, we take Foxy's token, we flip it around, and we put this to level 1. Now we can go, say we're at level 1, we can attempt to capture the guard. Oh, and by the way, when you get these items and then use that to build up your, scary meter, you call this the spending of items. However, this doesn't actually take up an action token. Right, let me give you the visual version of that, because that might sound a little confusing. So say we put this back here. I was using the example. Say we made our moves over here. We pick up this second cake one, and then we move back here. We use these 2 cakes, right? We spend these 2 cakes, right? And then we get this Foxy and flip it around, and it gives us this 1 scary meter. So we're here, right? That doesn't use up one of these. Anyhow, let's just pretend Freddy did his turn, study that. We want to move back here. We're back at number 1 here, and we want to try and capture this guard. Now, this will take up one of our little action tokens here. Remember, this is the other action, which I haven't yet discussed. There's 4 of them you can carry out. You can move to other rooms. You can pick up the items. You can play one of your cards, or you can try and capture. Okay, so you're attempting to capture the guard now as you've used one of your action tokens. So first thing you want to do is pick the top event card here and do what it says. So, okay, we get to draw an item. So we go over to our little pool here. We pick one of these up from the pile here, by the way, not from the board. And we put it here with our character. Okay, and now is when the RNG comes into play. The luck-based roulette system. So what you're going to do here is according to the level you're at on the scare counter here. So as you see, we've only moved 1 here, so we're on a scary counter of 1 here. So we only get 1 pull from this. So we don't look, we pull one of these up, and we got a miss. These here boys represent a miss, which means you didn't get to capture the guard and you didn't win. There's 19 of these in the bag, right? And there's only 1 guard token, so it definitely is difficult to capture the guard. But remember, say if you have like a scare counter of like 8, that means you get 8 pulls each time you attempt to capture. So we pull 1, we miss, we put it back in, we miss, we just keep going 8 times. Now, every time you fail to capture the guard, what you gotta do is flip your token around to the X side, which means you can't carry out another capture until you get more of these, move out the scary counter, and are able to flip it around again. And that's how the game pretty much works out. Now, I know that's a lot to take in, but just have a read at those instructions. I'll show them again. Pause the video. Take a good read at them. If you don't get anything in the comments, I'll try sum it up the best I can. I know it's quite complicated, especially for a game that's labeled as ages 8 and up here. Like, I know when I was 8, I probably wouldn't have a goddamn clue how to play this. And if this really doesn't do you much help, I can do a follow-up video of actually, like, say, for example, playing this game with my brother, and we'll really have things in action without me explaining it. Just, one of the best ways to learn is to visually see someone do it in time, rather than me going through baby steps, So, there's my review / unboxing / how to play / whatever of the new Five Nights at Freddy's Nights of Fright game. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you next time.